Alright, so here's the story of this Ecology Lab. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go catch fish. You're going to catch the fish and then you're going to measure them and you're going to tag them and you're going to throw them back in the water. You're going to wait a couple of hours. You're going to go catch the fish again. And then you're going to collect fish and measure them and weigh them. And you'll be presumably also counting the number of tags that you see. Now you're going to have help. You only have to do 5 fish out of the 100 each time, and apparently you have help, and that's going to allow you to do this a bit more quickly. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come back a year later, and what's going to happen is during that year some predator has entered the lake. So you're going to go in and you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to collect fish, you're going to tag them, you're going to measure them, and you're going to throw them back in. Then 2 hours later you're going to recollect the fish and then count the ones with tags and measure and weigh them again, and see what kind of changes have been caused by this predator being introduced into the lake. Alright, so we start off by going to different areas of the lake, and I tend to like to do this in order. Alright, so I've caught all these fish now. Now the idea is I'm going to put this tray on the balance and I'm going to measure the tray. Now it weighs 27.400 grams. I don't want to be taking into account the mass of the tray every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit 0. So when I put fish on it, then I'm just measuring the mass of the fish and that's it. Alright, so here's the idea. I stick a fish in here. I've got the length of the fish here and then I've got the mass of the fish here. You're supposed to put these down in your lab notes. Then you tag the fish, throw the fish back in the water. We repeat this process. Measure it, tag it, throw it. Make sure you put it over the water. Alright, so now 2 hours have passed, I can go recapture fish. Do the same thing. So now I'm going to repeat the process. This time though I'm not going to tag any fish because I'm recapturing them. That's the whole point. What I'm going to do is measure them, and you'll see I've got a measurement and a mass, and again I throw this back in the water. Sometimes I'll pick up a fish with a tag and sometimes I won't. It's completely random. It's how it would be in real life anyway. Alright, turned out I didn't pick up any tags this time, but that's alright. So it says here data for the remainder of a catch has been collected by your colleagues and found in your lab notes. So you'll notice, if we go look at the lab notes, you've got all this data for fish here. Starts out 12/1/2016, and then you've got your recapture. I don't know why it says 12/1/2018, but it does. Anyway, so that's the recapture part there. Alright, so now we go back and we're gonna, a year has now passed, so we're going to recapture these fish. Now this time we are going to re-tag them. This time they're going to have red tags on them, but we'll get to that in a minute. I've got to collect the fish first. Okay, so I've collected the fish. Now I have to re-tag them. Alright, measure it, re-tag it. Notice it's now a red tag. We throw it back in the water. Yeah, so don't forget to tag them. It's the main thing. Alright, so we've done that. Do that 5 times. And again, we can now, 2 hours have passed, you can now recapture the fish to complete your population estimate. So now I go back in to the lake and I catch fish again. Yeah, try and do them in order. So we've captured our fish. Now again, we don't tag them this time because we're just recapturing them. So we do the same thing. We take the fish, measure it, chuck it back in the lake. Take the fish, measure it, chuck it back in the lake. You'll notice sometimes I pick up something with a blue tag. I might even pick up one with the red tag occasionally as well. There you go. Data for the remainder of your catch has been collected by you. This is the end of the Ecology Lab. So I'm done with all my fish collecting. Alright, so now I exit the lab. Now I've got all my data. And now I can answer my short answer questions. Alright, so all the data is in here. You can see in the notes. This is everything I've collected. And then it's all this data for fish and where they've been collected. Lake areas 1 through 5. And this is the recapture. And you know, the fishing date shouldn't read 2018, but it reads should read 2016 because it's only 2 hours later. But anyways. This tells you how many fish were tagged when they were recaught. And I'm just going through here. Here we go. This is the predator introduction. So this should read 2018, and so should the other one. We'll get some data in a second for that. And there it is, and it tells you how many fish were caught with red tags. And then that's the end of the data right there. So you got four attempts right there, and it's all listed. So in the answers part, you can go ahead and answer everything here. It's asking for the range of the length of the fish. Now what you would do is you'd just go through the data and you'd find the top mass and then the bottom mass, and that would be the range, and you can do that each time, and then you can figure out the total population, and they give you most of the data. All you need is the number of fish that were tagged. That's the N value. The other values are given to you, and it's not a particularly hard math problem to figure out what the total population would be for the fish. And again, you'll see it for the recapture as well, after the predator has gone into the lake, and then you'll get an idea of what happened to the population during that time. All right, so that's pretty much it. You should be able to answer most of the questions now.